Hey everybody, I have something new for you this evening. This is the lens cap coin version 2, and I'm going to be making them and selling them very soon. It's going to be a small batch at first, then we're going to get into making a few more depending on how that small batch goes. So this is going to be an introductory video. Please stick around and have some fun with me. This is going to be neat. The lens cap coin is a lens cap that has been drilled out for a series of buttons, which happen to be electrical buttons that are interchangeable, which makes this modular. And you can either put in soft buttons, medium buttons, or hard buttons. When you buy the single version of this, it comes with 3 sets of buttons. I'll show everything to you here shortly. But yeah, this is version 2. Back by popular demand, I'm hoping. We will now compare this to version 1. So real quickly, what happened is I have to rely on a manufacturer to provide these lens caps, and it's going to be whatever they can send me. Now, when I did the first batch, I've done about 6 sets of these, and they were on these versions. So this version has a perfectly flat top and a perfectly flat bottom, and it's a little bit thinner. This new version has a lip that runs around the outside edge on both sides. It also has the logo only on the back, which I like that much better. Remember, this is the new one here. The old one, you can see the logo was printed on both sides. It says Sensei. And unfortunately, I had to drill through the front of that and drill right through the logo. Again, that's out of my control. These were the best lens caps that fit the job that I needed, because what mattered to me is the space on the inside here. You have to remember that these were not intended to be used like this at all. Lens caps, one end screws onto the end of a lens cap, or onto the end of a lens, the other screws onto the other lens, and it protects the glass. So I had to buy several different kinds of lens caps till I found ones that matched up, that had enough space on the inside and would suit my purposes. This just happens to be, Sensei happened to be the branded version that works for me. Now, I'm not going to tell you what size this is. You can figure that out yourself. But yeah, these are commercially available, and because of that, I did not know they were going to change to this design. And at first I was really disappointed, because I thought maybe it would ruin my plans, but it turns out it's all for the better. So major difference are the lip around the edge, the thickness. This is just a little bit thicker. The newer one is just a little bit thicker. The diameter is just a little bit smaller. And remember, the new one's on top, the bottom one sticks out just a little bit, so they've lessened the diameter just a little bit. Again, on the front surface, there is no branding now, so the buttons are on a nice clean black surface. And on the old one, the Sensei was drilled right through the middle there because I had to. Now, on the rear, again, this is the new one. It has a logo that's a lot prettier, and it's centered better than that logo. It stands out better than that logo, I think. And that circle is a little bit bigger, and of course there's a lip on this side too. So I think that's all we're going to do comparison-wise between the old and new. There are no more version 1 bodies. That is it. So version 2 here is, like I said, it's a little bit more robust. Everything's a little thicker. I'm happier though, because it turned out that everything still fits the way I intended it to. There's actually a little bit more space on the inside, which is really what I wanted in the V1 but couldn't have. So now you have an option of using this with or without a pad on the inside, so that it can be like a little bit loose and rattly. I know a lot of people enjoy their magnetic sliders to be crunchy, and that's kind of the option that you're getting here. Without some kind of padding in here now, there's enough space on the inside that the switches are a little bit free to move around, and I actually think I like that better. But currently it will come with a piece of padding that goes in there, just because on version 1 there was no need for any padding on the inside there. Everything just happened to be just the right size on the inside, that when you screwed this shut, it held everything together, and none of the parts are really loose. The middle button was a little loose, I think, but everything else was, tightened down, sandwiched in there. So the new one, when you tighten it down with no padding in there, everything rattles a little bit. I'll show you that in a minute. Yeah, that is where we are with that. I think what we'll do is sort of do an unboxing. I'll show you what this is going to look like when it comes to you, and when we're doing that, we'll discuss what the pricing options are. So we'll move on from there. Okay, here's what comes in the box. And I should have mentioned that the version 2 is backward compatible with version 1, so the parts match backward and forward. They just look a little bit different. But you'll get a nice sort of standard generic plastic case here. I already broke that little tip off there. That's my fault. You won't get one like that, but you'll get a body that already has a piece of padding in it. And then in the top part is a COA, my idea of a COA. And it's just a drawing that I did that represents what you're getting here. And I didn't number these, so they're not serialized or anything, but here you could pause the screen if you want. There are the 3 different strengths of switches. They're actually rated. Because it's an electrical switch, it goes through regulatory agencies, and they have to know things like what strength they are and what their lifespan are. So we actually have predicted lifespans for each type of switch there if you look in the fine print. But the green, what really matters is that green is soft, yellow is medium, and the red is hard. And there is a significant difference between the 3, so you can tell. Like numbers don't really tell the whole story. But yeah, between the 3 different colors, there is a significant difference. That is what you need to know. Then we just have some information on here. 22 button model, alluding to possibly another version, question mark. And that's the V2 lens cap coin. And I updated the drawing. It's very similar to the first COA that I put out. There's also that warning about small parts and keeping it away from children. I'm worried that those little pieces look like candy, so keep them away from the kids. They'll put them in their mouth. I'll sign it and date it, but again, no serial number. This just quickly shows you how it's put together. We'll put that off to the side. Again, it's inexpensive packaging here. Underneath is where you'll find all the buttons. Just put those out here. Again, I'm assuming you've never seen this before. I do have a version 1 introduction video that I might link to down in the comments. It's worth looking at. I was really proud of how that one turned out because of the, I don't know, the music and everything, and the camera, little camera tricks that I used. But I just want this to be an introduction, give you a good idea how it works, and see if it's something that you might be interested in buying or not. So, like I said, out of the box, this is what you're going to get. A body with a piece of padding in there. That's actually paper towel. And that happens to be the proper thickness for a pad inside of this. And I'm debating on whether or not to include more pre-cut pieces that it would fit in here of paper towel. But I don't think I will, because you'll either use this piece till it wears out, or it's very easy to replace it yourself. Everybody has access to paper towels. So, but I'll show you that when we take it apart. You get 25 buttons that are soft, 25 medium, 25 hard. Of course, you don't need 25 here. There's only 22 holes in this, so that means there's 21 small buttons to be used and 1 large button, and that leaves you with extras. So you get an extra large button and 2 extra small buttons in each one of these strengths. Now this is my set. I don't have the extra pieces in there. I have exactly how many that we need to put in there. And I think what I'll do is put in the, I'll set it up the way I would carry it around if I were to only buy one. And see, here's the beauty of this. So this is going to be $50. Just think of it as $25 per body and $25 for a set of buttons. But you know, you get the first option one is a one body with 75 buttons. So then you can change this and set it up any way you like it. But you've got all these extra buttons. In fact, you have enough buttons to make 3 more. So I'm making the option to buy extra bodies for $25 each. And that way you can set one up to be all soft, one up to be all medium, one up to be all hard. Why not buy the extra bodies? I did have a few people that wanted them later, and unfortunately, you know, the way things operate with, like I said, how I buy these from a third party, we get what we get, and these new ones just don't match the old ones. They do fit the old ones. The parts are interchangeable, but they're not exactly the same. That may bug some people. But let's go with this. I wanted to say, you know, you bought one, so $50 gets you one body and all these buttons. And the way I set it up, if I'm only going to have one, is I like to have all medium around the outside and then the hard button in the middle. So I will show you now. These are all color coded. We only need one of the large buttons out of here. So nice little red. It's only color coded on one side, so we can take that one out. And then medium is yellow. Think of that like a stoplight. So green is soft, medium is yellow is medium, and red is hard. And here I won't need the large middle button, but it's yellow, and there should be, well, there would be 2 of those, but this is my set, like I said, so there are no extras in here, but you would get an extra one of those. And then we're going to use all of those. So we can put everything else out of the way, and I'll show you how this goes together. So let's take this apart. See, there's my paper towel cut out crudely, but I will make a few nice ones when I send these out. The best way to load this up, I found, is just to hold it in your hand. See, I'm right-handed, so get everything off to the right side here, and just start from the outside and work your way in. I'm not going to speed this up because it doesn't take that long. So yeah, these are electrical switches, and they work like a charm. I haven't had any fail me yet. This is homemade in a sense, but on the other hand, I take a lot of pride in my work. So nothing on this is CNC machined by me. The actual lens caps were CNC machined by someone in China, but all I did were locate and drill some holes and clean everything up. But that in itself was a challenge, believe it or not. It's difficult to get that done accurately on a drill press on a coffee table in your living room. But I have, like I said, improved my process, gotten everything kind of smoothed out, and I feel like I can make these a lot easier now. You know, if you're not familiar at this point yet, you know, some people would say this is close to the fish, what was it? The puffer fish and the puffer crash. And I honestly couldn't tell you who made those off the top of my head. I'm going to put this together without the padding first so you can hear what that sounds like. So the idea is inspired by those buttony toys. Of course, it's an entirely different shape, and the idea of its modularities is quite different. So yeah, these are the hard buttons, or the medium buttons on the outside, and a hard button on the inside. That's my favorite combination. And like I said, right now, it rattles a little bit, but not much. You know, if it's in your pocket, especially if anything's against those switches, it won't rattle at all. I would prefer to just leave it like that. But, like I said, some people are used to the V1 where it didn't rattle at all, and I don't want you to think you're getting maybe something defective or whatever, but I'm going to have some die-cut pieces of paper towel because it happens to be just the right thickness. Anything thicker was too much, and even a piece of paper was too thick. This just seems to work, so we'll stick with that. Otherwise, like I said, no need for it really at all. Everything's interchangeable. If you have the other two bodies, then you can have one set up for soft, one medium, one hard. And it, I wouldn't. If you're really thinking about it, I would just go ahead and order it that way, because a few months down the road, I may not be making these at all, and if I am making them, maybe I won't be able to get my hands on these exactly the same lens caps anymore, and there'll be something different. Maybe they'll say Nikon on it or something, or even be a different shape. Or, maybe I won't even be able to make them again. So keep that in mind. My stuff, I mostly make my stuff so that I can share it with you. I have fun doing it, and it's nice to get a little bit extra cash. But if you don't jump on something when I'm offering it, you might be missing out. And this is a second opportunity for a handful of people that were really looking for this. The new bodies, I really like these new bodies. The material is thicker, top and bottom, but I can really see the thickness difference when I look at it at an angle. I can see the depth of all these holes. It looks to almost be just under a 1/16 of an inch thick, whereas on the original ones it was a lot thinner. Not that that makes any difference. It probably does in sound. I'm sure there's sound difference between V1 and V2 with or without padding and such, but just for durability. Plus, the thickness of those walls helps keep those little buttons nice and straight while they travel up and down, and you're less likely to get the button cocking, if that makes any sense. That was a little bit of an issue with the V1. I did put a warning with those, like if any of the buttons would tighten up on you, just simply loosen it and then tighten it back up again, because occasionally the buttons on the outside would get cocked a little bit sideways and jammed a little bit, just until you loosened it up. Then everything was fine. But yeah, let's go from here. Yeah, let's go from there to here and just go over pricing one last time. I really didn't go over it yet, I don't think. The plan is option 1 is for one body, option 2 is for two bodies, and option 3 is for three bodies, just like before. So this is option 1. Everything I showed you up to this point is what you get with option 1. Option 1 is one body with a pad in there. I may give you some extra pads, I may not. 25 soft switches, 25 medium switches, and 25 hard switches, buttons, and of course COA, signed and dated, and this is $50. Now, if you have this, you have all those extra buttons, it's really worthwhile thinking about buying an extra body, because you could have up to 3 bodies. This is option 2. Option 2 is 2 bodies. It's going to come to you in the mail just like this. I'll put a little piece of padding between the two of them there so they don't rub together, and it'll be closed up like that. So that would be $75. Extra bodies are $25. So if you buy 2 extra bodies, then you'll have enough bodies for your soft, medium, and hard. And then depending on your mood, whatever day, you can just pick up whichever one you want. Now that's not too bad, I think. I think it's fair. $50 for this by itself I think is fair compared to some of the stuff you're seeing now available printed in 3D, a lot of 3D sliders and stuff. Prices are kind of getting up there for 3D quality, I kind of think, not to be critical, but this is handcrafted and a combination of CNC machined by somebody else. The nice precision of camera gear, and the irresistibility of a clicky button. So yeah, please keep me in mind. This is a great way to spend some of your Christmas money. I know this may not be coming at the perfect time for you to buy, but hey, buy now, pay later. That's what I say. Like I said, option 1 is everything you see here for $50. Option 2 will be $75. option 3 will be $100 plus shipping. Keep your eyes open. Within the next week or so, I will do a drop. I will probably give you a heads up on that, and we will move on from there. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Bye.